Hello and welcome back to Umineko. When last we left off, we finished the main part of episode 2, and now it's time for a tea party. Purgatorio. Rosa awoke from her doze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy and she wasn't thinking clearly. Where is this? It felt like some mansion, but it didn't seem to be the Ciconia mansion. She could see a room that looked like a parlour, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It had probably been made for her. Around the room, some glitter that looked like gold leaf drifted about, making the scene look quite fantastical. When she eventually realized that they were gold butterflies, it further strengthened that impression. There was someone across from her. A woman. A lady. It was the portraits. Which... Get a little character profile, which is always worth checking in these. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Interesting. So, these are all the profiles they got at the end. So who is still alive? Shurimiya Kinzo missing. He finally reached the golden land he so desired to see. However, since a fool was unwilling to accept it, the magic was wasted once again. Even so, he was probably happy. After all, he managed to be reunited with the Golden Witch. If only for a brief time. Afterwards, he was crushed to bits and eaten by demons, and went to hell. Who else? Jordan Danjo was already dead? Yeah. They found him. Let's do Beatrice last, actually. Servant Genji. Missing. Selfless furniture seeks nothing but repose in the Golden Land. However, since a fool obstinately rejects the Golden Land, it seems his time of repose is unlikely to come soon. Afterwards, he was torn to pieces and eaten by demons, and went to hell. Then we've got Rosa. Rosa, missing. In the Golden Land, she finally found a treasure more precious than gold. However, it only lasted a brief time. Because of a fool, she was forced to once again lose what she had finally found. Afterwards, she was chewed into a pulp by demons, and went to hell. Shurimiya Maria, missing. In the Golden Land, she learned that her mother still truly loved her. At least for now, she is satisfied. And then everyone else had already died and gotten their things. Battler, notably, just missing. Furniture does not get profile pictures. Beatrice, the Golden Witch who has lived for 1,000 years. She has surpassed the limits of humans, and, like demons, will sometimes appear in response to the summons made by humans, to offer her power in exchange for a price. She likes black tea and ice cream. She hates boredom and people who deny her existence. I think this might have been at the end of the last one too, in the tea party. Maybe not 100% the same, but she seemed to be having a one-sided conversation. She was probably talking to Rosa, but Rosa, whose mind was clouded up by a deep fog, didn't have a clue what was being said. Choose whatever you please. If there is anything you want, I'll give it all to you. You can think of it as a reward for your good luck, or else as proper compensation for how you've answered to my demands. It may have been a truly trivial matter from your perspective. However, the deal was important enough to me to be deserving of this reward. What is she talking about? I don't know. I don't know. It's just that I am very much a witch. Perhaps you'd best ask for something only a witch can give you. What a rare chance this is. To actually receive the favor of Beatrice the Golden. Me. Finally, Rosa started to feel the blood flowing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish, and she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking. I am commonly called the Golden Witch. Bestowing a mountain of gold, like the one I gave Kinzo, is trivial to me. After all, you can measure all the pleasures of the human world with money. Therefore, gold is no more or less than the manifestation of the human world's pleasures. Can you imagine it? A mountain of gold that you couldn't use up as long as you lived. As the witch blew on her pipe, multicolored smoke enshrouded their surroundings. As she did this, the inside of the parlor was suddenly filled with stacks of gold ingots. It looked like a shining, gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth several 10 million yen, how much would all of this be worth? It seemed sinful to even think of such a number. However, the human world is difficult. I know there are some things that cannot be settled, no matter how high into the sky you pile up gold. I know there are cracks that cannot be filled. I won't make light of that, which is why this is a gift that only a witch such as I can give. Why don't I fill those cracks in for you? Yes, how about this? It's something only I can give. You should be very happy. No need to thank me out loud. I can tell right away. It's written on your face and in the corners of your heart. Rosa felt a touch of discomfort at this witch, who kept on talking even though Rosa hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't manage to speak, and was so helpless that it was difficult to even move a finger, she couldn't do anything but listen. How far must the deep wounds in your heart recede before they can be healed? This is deep, quite deep indeed. Sometimes wounds close up while a fragment of foreign matter remains inside. Even when such wounds appear to have healed, they continue to throb for all eternity. Sometimes you have to open the wound once more in order to heal it completely. As the witch spoke, she stared deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away. So, your pain was already fated by the time of your birth. How heartbreaking. You don't have to say it. I understand. I understand. Rosa was gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes. Then the world grew dark, spinning round and round as she was sucked in. Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Kresny-san's voice. Kresny-san is a real adult, so he's very smart. So he hated the stupid kid, Rosa. He was a very scary person. I was often hit and my toys were taken from me and broken. I was apparently being punished for something bad I'd done, but I never really understood what it was or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly, and then later told what the punishment was for, in a forced manner. But it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Krasny-san. Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Eva-Nissan's voice. Eva-Nissan is a real adult, so she's very smart. So she hated the stupid kid, Rosa. She was always a very sly person, and she often lied to me, tricked me, bullied me all the time. Apparently I was stupid, and she said it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Eva-Nissan, and listened to what she said. But when I obeyed her, for some reason someone always got really mad at me. So I really hated Eva-Nissan. Rosa, why are you such an idiot? Oh, that's Rudolph-Nissan's voice. Rudolph-Nissan really knows how to get things done. So he hated the stupid kid, Rosa. When Krasny-san was around, he would be friendly with Krasny-san. When Eva-Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Eva-Nissan. And when Krasny-san wasn't around, he would be violent, like Krasny-san. And when Eva-Nissan wasn't around, he would play dirty, like Eva-Nissan. And even though he was also bullied most of the time, when Krasny-san and Eva-Nissan weren't around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. So I really hated Rudolph-Nissan. Oh, but these were my memories from when I was a kid. It's common for unfair things to happen between kids, and you mustn't hold on to grudges for such things forever. With time, those memories get buried away, and forgetting them bit by bit is supposed to be part of growing up and becoming an adult. So becoming an adult is the same as separating yourself from all those memories. And because of that, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult. Even though she had been blessed with a daughter called Maria and was called a mother, she didn't at all feel like she had become an adult. The witch pitied her for that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal that pain herself. How can I heal you? It's possible, but not easy. I might rewind time and give you a world where you have no older siblings. But that way, your memories of being hurt by your older siblings wouldn't remain. And in that sense, while you might call it a gift, you wouldn't be able to accept it. A person is only satisfied when their starvation is healed. But if you make it so they never starved in the first place, none of them will thank you. Just like how there are no young people who give thanks for their daily gluttony. Understand? I think she's telling me something really complicated. In short, even if she makes it so I never had older siblings, that wouldn't remove my pain. Maybe that's what she's saying? Strictly speaking, that's not quite right. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure we earn as compensation for withstanding pain. Therefore, removing the pain isn't healing. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain. Which means you must know joy in order to compensate you for your pain. You should be proud of your past sufferings. After all, they are what make it possible for you to know pleasure that those without pain will never experience. Those who experience this pleasure cannot help but pass on the same joy to others. When the witch snapped her fingers, even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and had already lost all semblance of reality, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table, and a wonderful meal was laid out, almost as though it was the opening of a banquet in a castle from some fairy tale. For an instant, Rosa truly did feel a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was. But at the same time, she felt a bit of an anticlimax. After all, she didn't think being bullied by her siblings could be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious. Food is the source of many human pleasures. You simply must eat like a pig as long as you live. If one meal isn't enough, then have as many as you want. Until the pain of your heart is healed, why not continue this gourmet banquet? Begin it, furniture. As the witch clapped twice, there were suddenly 2 goat-head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it up on Rosa's plate. It really did look delicious, but Rosa's body felt as heavy as lead, and there was no way she'd be able to eat. Maybe they also understood that. The goat-head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar, and gallantly brought a glass of before-dinner alcohol to her mouth, tilting it for her. She remembered an old servant who had once carried rice porridge to her mouth when she was laid up with a high fever. She couldn't drink it well, and it dribbled from her mouth, but she felt the fragrant sweetness spread throughout her mouth. It's a sweet aperitif of noble rot German-made wine. A wine cocktail of white wine mixed with a crimson golden drop. If I had to give it a name, I'd call it a bloody crouse. Soaked with just a golden drop of your brother's blood that was squeezed out of a compressor. Rosa coughed violently, and the bright red that stained her face made it look as though she had coughed up blood. You know a lot about black tea, so you should know what it means, right? Golden drop refers to the last drop in a drink. It is called the most precious drop in black tea. So a golden drop of blood is the same. The last and most precious drop of blood squeezed out of a human. We squeeze it using that. As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil that had been set up before something large was removed. The solemn and massive machine there was just like a coffin for a large-sized person, with many large bulb-like things stuck to it. And it looked like a sinister torture device. By its unnerving shape, she could tell that with a human strength it could be used to tighten and compress something. And it seemed that there were still some squeezed dregs remaining, because of the bright red remains that stained it. But you can't take more than one golden drop at once. No matter what kind of human you take it from, you can't get more than one drop. But I am a witch. Reviving a person is easy for me. When the witch snapped her fingers, the human compressor suddenly began to shake. No, she could also hear a groan. It looked almost as though someone sleeping in that man-sized coffin had woken up and was now struggling to get out. But that was wrong. What was inside definitely had been squeezed dregs. Using her magic, the witch had once again revived the squeezed dregs to how they'd been before they were squeezed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor and forcefully started tightening the large bulb. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice. It is fitting for cooking to be done in the kitchen. Enough, stand back. Do you understand how precious a golden drop is? To have it stained this crimson requires that several dozen people's worth be squeezed. The witch definitely said that only one golden drop could be taken from a single human. And yet, she had dozens of people's worth of golden drops from a single human. Only a witch could do this. The Golden Witch Beatrice could kill a single human endlessly. In other words, before Beatrice, even death did not mean freedom. Do you need me to put it in a different way? Have you forgotten the day this man hit you when you swallowed the blood that ran into your mouth? That's right, remember that taste? Remember the taste of the tears that you spilled until you were dry. I believe this aperitif will be sufficient to heal that regrettable memory. Once again, the goat-head servants tilted a deep red glass against her mouth. Rosa tried resisting by closing her lips, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which hung open with shock, and the inside of her mouth was filled with a ghastly sweetness. It definitely was a fragrant sweetness. The living blood of her brother, who had given her such hateful thoughts and made her soak her pillow so many times, had been collected from his death, repeated dozens of times. How could the crimson-stained wine not be sweet? But Rosa tried to spit it out. Because of that, the deep red wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth looked just like a bloodstain. Now that she knew that this ghastly substance wasn't a simple aperitif, Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued. That is a double-tongued salad made from vegetables in season. On your 9th birthday, you made a wish that you'd someday get to chew this to bits. This salad made from Ava's tongue. When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up in the salad, she had a sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in it and carried it to Rosa's mouth. How does your double-tongued sister taste? It must be quite soft and enchanting, right? It probably would be quite sweet, soft, and enchanting in her mouth. After all, Ava's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. And you might say the stimulating pepper seasoning expressed the truth behind those lies well. As the tongue salad that kept being pushed into Rosa's mouth was covered with saliva, she spat it out. But the goat-head servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over and over again. It goes without saying, but I made this salad liberally using 5 of Ava's tongues. You can't get more than 1 tongue out of a person, but I can get them over and over. As Rosa's tears dribbled down, she resisted frantically. However, the only way she could resist was by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly permeated Rosa's mouth. Does it not please you? There's lots more. Sea bass pie wrapped in the skin of Rudolph's face. Soup with boiled brains, liver pate, and look forward to dessert. It's not just your siblings, see? I have lavishly assembled all of those whom you have trusted, and yet by whom you were betrayed. Why don't we continue this banquet for all eternity, until your heart is satisfied? For all eternity? You're happy, right? Assure me, Rosa. Don't pretend you hate it. I know that you're actually happy, okay? If you want to laugh, then do so. And if you won't feel better until you've heard a raw performance of your annoying older sibling's screams, I'll let you hear them as much as you like. Fear not, your reluctance doesn't trouble me. That's just your personality, right? On the inside, you're actually so happy that your skin is crawling all over. And yet, on the outside, you're merely pretending that all this causes you pain. Yes? It's alright. Here, there's no need to worry about honor or your public image or anything. So laugh as much as you want and chew it to bits. Isn't this the best banquet? Assure me, Rosa. Please, stop. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to leave dessert as a surprise, but let me reveal it now anyways. Maybe that will be enough incentive for you to eat up the full course. Your dessert is that beloved daughter that you had to keep pretending to love. Oven-baked Maria with apples. Doesn't that sound yummy? Once you eat this, you will be released from everything. Freedom, you see, freedom. Finally, Rosa will gain freedom as an individual person. Aren't you happy? You should be happy. Drool is hanging from your mouth. Just try looking in a mirror. Suddenly, a muscular goat cook was holding Maria under his arm, and Maria gazed at Rosa with a face that was only slightly sad. Mama, was I a burden? You aren't a burden. As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried to her mouth, as she was covered with filth and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed. If you think I'm a burden, I don't mind if you eat me. After all, I'm always doing horrible things to you. Even when you bring a man over, I can't stay quiet. When you spend the night out with a man, I get lonely and unruly and make a mess of my room. When I go to search by myself, I get lost. The police pick me up and you're shamed. When you don't come home for several days and I cry and have to be consoled by the neighbors, you're shamed. Because I'm like this, I'm a burden to Mama. Sorry for being born. So I'll become delicious oven-baked apples for Mama's sake. And then, maybe Mama will be happy I exist for the first time. Maybe she'll eat me and think I'm delicious. Isn't it delicious? Me choked up with tears of gratitude. Your daughter is saying this much for you. Right? Oven-baked apples and your beloved daughter make for the best dessert. You've managed to raise such delicious ingredients. Aren't you the best mother? Assure me, Rosa. Mama, thanks for everything. Bye-bye. Wait! Wait, Maria, that's wrong! Stop it already! Stop it already! No! I didn't want something like this! Please stop! Please forgive me! No! Stop it already. Don't put it in my mouth. Have you been satisfied with my hospitality? Then I'll have you accept it. That I am a witch. Proclaim it. Assure me Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. I accept it. Assure me Rosa accepts that Beatrice is a witch. So give Maria back. Release me. I finally made you acknowledge it. That crafty battler has already surrendered, and I made Rosa, the fool who denied me even after being invited to the Golden Land, accept it. Perfect. It's perfect. I've accomplished my perfect victory. Yeah. Come, bring Maria. Prepare a delicious oven roast for Rosa. No! Maria! Looks delicious. Slice up your cow tits and make me a sandwich. Oh. Wrong voice. What? That voice? Oof. An arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. As it did, the witch broke to pieces, turning into a cloud of gold butterflies, and reformed into her body a short distance away. Battler? You bastard! I thought you'd surrendered so far that even your soul was furniture! Me too. But while I was listening to that gross recipe, I started to get a little hungry. Yeah, I should have guessed it was battler from the word cow tits, but you know. Now I feel like eating a whole roast witch! Oh, Maria, it's 10 years too early for you to talk about having someone eat you up. But in 10 years, you'd better say that to me. Promise. Ooh, promise. But Battler... Sorry to keep you waiting, Aunt Rosa. I'd forgotten. This is a one-on-one fight between me and this woman. It's totally wrong for me to give in. Thanks to you hanging in there, I've gotten my will to fight back. This person, he gave up down to the depths of his soul and surrendered to me, didn't he? I see. He doesn't know when to give up. Just what I'd expect from Ashuramiya Kinzo's grandchild. So the chick of a phoenix is still a phoenix after all. How dashing, how amusing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have you any other way, battler. Try to deny me. I'll completely and thoroughly smash you to bits. Let me make you surrender over and over again. I'll teach you, one who has licked my shoes, the taste of defeat over and over again. No problem. I'll teach you that I, assure me a battler, am a man who can stand back up even after crawling through the mud. I've never been invincible in a fight. I've lost loads of times. But I'll definitely crawl through the mud and stand up again. And then I'll finish this. In a man's fight, you don't lose until you accept defeat, no matter how much you get beat up. Don't think I'm out just because you took a shot at me. I'll give you a good show. Beatrice! I'll accept your challenge, assure me a battler. Furniture, begin preparations for the next game. While we're waiting, why don't you tell me all about it? There were a lot of closed rooms in this game. Using red, I've smashed to bits most of the methods by which you tried to talk yourself out of them. What other evasive quibbles will you show me now? The lock to the chapel, the lock to Jessica's room, the lock to the servant room, the lock to Natsuhi's room, the lock to the parlor? Use your bizarre specialty. Those delusions, rantings, daydreams, and bluffs. All slanted with ridiculous, incredible turns of events. And show me how you can thoroughly deny me. It's useless. It's all useless! And thus ends the tea party, and we have just one final bit left for episode 2 as a whole. The question marks. Welcome to the tea party of those who are not human. Well then, did you find that game enjoyable? A game that one-sided goes beyond riveting. It's boring. my, but you're hush as always. Considering how proud I was to have created a development so impactful that it might satisfy even the boredom-hating Lady Bern-Castell, this response is quite harsh. Well, I'll admit it was impactful. However, it was horrible as a fair game. Unless you make the conditions a bit more even. Are you saying there's no way to win? Not even for Lady Bern-Castell? I wonder what you mean by that, Beato. There's no need to try and fool me. I already know that you're no bystander. Were you planning on hiding it? You're an outrageous person to come into someone else's territory from such a great distance to work against them. You came to watch from the sidelines and probably to push strongly for my defeat. I've guessed right, haven't I? And if so? Truly amusing. And that I should be granted a chance to fight against Lady Berncastel, the strongest of witches who defeated Lady Lambda Delta, is truly a pleasure. Yes, I am also pleased. I came all this way because I really wanted to see you, brimming with confidence, fall apart and lose. What an honest person. Even so, it would be a shame if the contest between me and the great Lady Berncastel was resolved without at least one observer. You called her here, didn't you? That kid. First new voice in a while, actually. I found you! I finally found you, Berncastel! How are you, Lambda? Looks like you've got lots of spare time, too. I wonder if it's fate that the pair who hates boredom should run into each other again. Stupid kid! Can't you see you only won against me because of a little luck and a problem of compatibility? After that, you became such a brag, and now you're even picking a fight with Beatrice? Shouldn't you learn your place? Beatrice is strong, and she's even more brutal than I am. Just a bit. And by the way, don't go shortening people's names without their permission. You're dumb too, Beato. If this kid's in your game, she'll make a mess of everything. I certainly didn't just bring Lady Lambda Delta here to watch from the sidelines. After informing me that you are betting against me, she said that she would bet against you. Let me now see, I think I heard. Yeah, we'll want to see each of these. These might be the same, but I'm going to read them anyway just in case. Beatrice, the endless witch who has lived for 1,000 years. She is known for being exceptionally cruel, even among witches. She loves bullying the weak and is capable of using trial and error endlessly to find the cruelest fate that they can possibly be given. And she toys with her victims even further by piling on one after another. This witch is extremely powerful, but word has it that she sometimes becomes obsessed with creating certain patterns, so that her means end up becoming her goals. Berncastel, the Witch of Miracles, who has lived for 1,000 years. Her vast power is capable of creating all kinds of miracles, but her heart has broken a bit as a result. Back when she was a human, Lambda Delta once imprisoned her within a cruel fate, toying with her the whole time. As a result, it seems she's unable to abandon others who are caught within a similar fate. Theoretically, she's a witch with the greatest of powers, but in practice, this is no more realistic than folding a piece of paper 100 times so that it reaches the moon. Yet, she did fold it 100 times. And this has to be new. Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty, who has lived for 1,000 years. She embodies the idea that hard workers are rewarded, and is revered even by humans. Though she is a witch, she does not stray far from the concepts of humans. For that reason, her power as one worshipped by humans is incalculable. However, she is fickle about whose efforts she chooses to reward, and in many cases she bestows her favor upon those who entertain her the most. Her immense, swift, and terrifying power can make any witch surrender in an instant. However, she is often reckless, and Bernkastel was able to take full advantage of that. Here's the witches. You're still holding a grudge, aren't you? Because I'm the strongest witch in the universe, but I lost to you, which means I'm not the strongest. So any enemy of yours is my ally. And there you have it. With the great Lady Bernkastel as our opponent, this may not even count as a handicap, but it should make for good entertainment. Do as you like. Now that I've been exposed, allow me to get serious. That would be well. Going easy has never been written in my dictionary. Lady Lambda Delta, let us enjoy our precious time together. Yeah, I'll be counting on you, Lady Beatrice. I've been betrayed pretty bad by her too. Until the two of us smash her up and pay her back double, I won't be able to rest. I'll be counting on you, Lambda. And you, Beato. No matter what we fight over, this will be a very significant battle for us all. That's right. Of course, I don't plan on losing, but we've got a goal beyond who wins and who loses. After all, we hate boredom. The three witches giggled, cackled, and guffawed. That's right. I should thank you, Beato. It looks like I'll finally be able to escape my boredom. Do your best to entertain me, along with Lambda Delta. Leave it to me. If we're decided, Beato, then let's start a strategy meeting right now. I know all of this girl's weak points, and I'll teach you all of them. And yet, Lady Lambda Delta, you were defeated by her. I won't tell you. Soon. She's never boring, that Lady Lambda Delta. Isn't she? Take care of her. She gets lonely easily. I see. So she's one of those that are popular these days. As expected from Lady Lambda Delta. Quite cutting edge. Go already. That kid's waiting for you to chase after her. Then, if you'll excuse me. See you next game. I'm sorry. That troublesome one came, but don't mind it. More importantly, things sure got ugly. I thought I experienced a very tragic end in Lambda's game. But this one is exceptionally horrible. I can't say I don't understand why you're hugging your knees and closing up your heart. If you meet a fate like that a few more times, it'll take a lot less than 100 years to kill your heart. Beatrice saw right through me, so I'll confess. You are now just like I was in the past, when I was imprisoned inside Lambda's world. Shut inside a labyrinth of cruel fate, tormented by a witch, in a manner of speaking. I am a witch who was born from there, so maybe I'm like an older sister to you. So I decided that I'd lend you my power. However, even compared to my fate, yours is truly brutal. Not only do I sympathize with you, I'm almost brought to tears by your tragic fate. But please, don't lose heart. Please don't submit to Beato, no matter what. Certainly, that child's game is quite unfair. I've only been allowed a glimpse of the game board. But the unfair and clever devices set up on the stage are so disgusting that I imagine they far surpassed those on Lambda Delta's game board. And what's even more frightening is that when that kid moves a piece, she doesn't always make the best possible move. This is where she's very different from Lambda. Lambda always uses an overpowering number of pieces to make the best possible move in order to win. But Beato sometimes intentionally goes easy on her opponent when she moves her pieces. Since, when we're in trouble, we try to seek out our opponent's strategy by looking at their moves, this creates a very formidable amount of noise in our information that might cause a troublesome amount of disorder. However, as in chess, though a player might be able to create some noise for their opponent with a useless move, they'll still miss out on the more valuable move they avoided. In other words, it's not like your opportunities to take advantage of this are zero. Although you may not be able to believe it, that analogy holds true for this game as well. Even though those developments looked so overpowering, there actually was a weak point. A weak point that almost looks like she wanted you to take advantage of it. Though, I don't know if it's a trap or if she's testing us. Anyway, don't surrender. Don't stop thinking. Don't deny any possibility. As long as you continue to hold the will to fight, Beato will not win. What's the most important element in defense during a witch's battle? Rather than trying to win, try not to lose. If accepting her means your defeat, then you definitely mustn't accept her. Making you accept witches. There is no longer any doubt that this is one of Beatrice's victory conditions. Now that I have announced that I'm your ally, I too will make as great an effort as possible to lend you my power. Make an effort yourself as well. If you're still hugging your knees, quickly stand back up. In times like this, what did I used to say again? Go for it. Yay. Meep. Nipa. It's so embarrassing doing this. I've done this much for you, so quickly stand back up. Ah, there you are. I wonder where Burn drank off to. Could she be any more lame? Even so, Just like usual, the pieces Bern chooses are pretty shabby. And it's the same with chess, right? If all of your pieces were pawns, you'd have 0 chances to win, right? If all your pieces were rooks and bishops, you definitely wouldn't lose. Well, last time, right when I felt just a little pity and said she could start with her pieces anywhere she wanted, that idiot Bern, without taking notice of my compassion, started with all her pawns on my side of the board. What's up with that? That wasn't a loss or anything. Just remember it makes me queasy. Because of that, I won't be able to rest until I see Bern's speechless face. And since you, Bern's piece, fucked up so bad, I'm feeling just great. Plus, she may not look it, but that girl really hates to lose. So I'll bet she's off somewhere grinding her teeth and crying her eyes out right now. How totally lame. Come on, laugh with me. Wait a sec. Are you still hugging your knees? You're already like this just because Beato got a little serious? Could you be any more pathetic? You're so pathetic, I'll help you just a little bit. I, the great Lady Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty, and the strongest in the universe, will associate myself just a tiny bit with you and your hopeless chances at winning. You should thank me. You know, Beatrice may really be a cruel and powerful witch, but she's no match for me. Why? Because she's soft. Though she'll set up the board in a way that'll let her win with just a few moves, she'll intentionally avoid cornering you. She'll do things like take worthless pieces and place excess pieces on the board to make things more one-sided. Simply put, she's got the bad habit of playing around as soon as she thinks she's won. Almost all the various attacks that hurt you and Bern look like utter waste and overkill to me. In other words, she's got a weakness, and you've got a chance. See? She isn't an opponent to be afraid of, right? She sometimes mistakes her means for her ends, and she has too much dark fun. Sometimes that even ends up creating and exposing her own weak points. For a super powerful witch like me, it's hard to understand why she's able to act so tough. Why she lowers her own chances of winning. But, well, because of that, a witch like Bern, who likes to thoroughly read her opponent, has a really bad affinity with her. Because reading her doesn't work. Maybe it's really easy for Bern to read and handle a straightforward and honest type like me. Annoyingly enough. Well, still, a super firepower type like me can flat out beat up a light, wide-range barrage top like Beatrice. So it's kinda like rock, paper, scissors. If I'm paper, Beato is rock. Which means Bern is scissors. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. Even though my paper loses to Bern's scissors, if I was a sheet of super paper, which is way more awesome than normal paper, I could beat even scissors, right? Basically, I, Lady Lambda Delta, am super paper. It looks like you've regained a bit of your color. That Beato, she's having fun torturing some piece called Rosa. At a glance, you'd think she has really nasty tastes, right? Wrong. She's just killing time, hoping that you'll stand back up in her turn. It's a move to fire up your righteous indignation by intentionally doing something detestable. Aw man, I hate kids like that. Anyway, I'll head on back. Don't tell anyone about me helping you out just a little bit. I mean, it's not like I helped you because I wanted to save you, okay? I, the strongest witch in the universe, had my throne stolen away when I lost to Bern. So I've got to take that throne back from her. But if she loses to Beato here, then it's Beato who will get the the position of strongest next, right? Well, it's not like I'm complaining. It'd be easier to steal the throne back from Beato. But then I wouldn't be satisfied, you see? I will defeat Bern, and I'll take back my position as the strongest. It's not like I'm really helping you, okay? I won't forgive you if you make Bern cry. And there ends the entirety of episode 2. The next episode lock has been removed, and new features, which I believe is just accessing music or chapters from the episode so far. That is going to do it for this episode. We're now technically a quarter through, but I'm pretty sure there are much longer episodes later in the run. But we're a quarter-ish through. Next time we'll be moving on to episode 3, which has this weird building as the background. Something about this looks Celtic-ish. But until next time, thank you for watching, and see you for episode 3.